Howdy, smart homers. Welcome to the live show. This is going to be a lot of fun. We're hanging out with some pretty cool people. We got some amazing guests. For example, we have Eric from ModernDayTech, who's an old YouTube friend of mine. We also have Pete, who is ex-Hubitat, and we'll be talking to Pete and see what's going on with Pete.
Hey, everybody.
We have Agnes from Zooz is in the house. And then we've got Nate from Konnected, and we have Eric, another Eric from Inovelli. I was going to bring in Eric from iBlinds, but I just could not handle the Eric trifecta. We would just be all, it's like herding cats at that point. So, hey, thanks for hanging out with me. And I want to say sorry that I've been so sporadic over the last couple of years. It's been a journey and an adventure, and I know I've been trying to kick videos out. But, you know, we're going to change all that, and that's a lot of what this announcement is about tonight. It's all good news, and I can't wait to get it out. Before we do, we've got our co-hosts. Like I said, we've got Eric. I'm going to introduce Eric here. Eric, let me talk a little bit about Eric. I met Eric in 2016, and we started collaborating on a smart plug. And Eric is kind of a Mac guy, and I'm not a Mac guy, and that's okay. So we collabed on a video. So I thought it'd be fun to do a blast from the past. And let me share that screen. And all of a sudden, my workflow that I rehearsed 6,000 times. I completely
God,
forgot.
love live. Here we go.
Live. Oh. Eric does a lot of videos on things I don't really talk about much, like trackers and trackers and trackers and trackers. I think there's a crack in my ceiling.
Thanks, John. Today we're going to be talking about trackers. Okay, I've been doing a lot of videos on trackers lately, but they're so much fun. You can track your keys, you can track your wallet, you can track your purse, you can track your phone, you can track your car, you can track your TV remote, you can track your pet, you can track your food, you can track your water, you can even track your kid or your wife.
Yeah, that movie. We did that. So, Eric, let's tell us about your channel. I don't think you're doing just trackers right now.
No trackers on the main channel anymore, but I have a secondary channel if people are still interested in tiles and air tags and there's so many names out there. The list just goes on and on. So, but on the main channel, it is now mostly smart home stuff or just really expensive tech. I got some expensive tech around me right now that's coming to the channel. So I've always dabbled into smart home stuff ever since before I even met John. So it's always been an interest of mine, and, you know, just kept putting content out there. And I kind of fell into the Apple HomeKit world. And, you know a lot of people not into the Apple ecosystem, but that's where I am, and I love it. So
I'm with you, man.
I dabble into other stuff too.
Apple owns our lives. It's all right.
Yes.
You do some nice stuff. I was watching your video of your smart balcony, and that thing is sick. I mean,
the deck.
The deck, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a great video.
I did all the wiring myself. So I might not built it,
what
but
about the pounding of the nails, right?
Yeah, that's awesome. So anybody who is wanting some more takes on Apple and Apple gear and HomeKit and stuff like that, I would suggest you go check out Apple's channel. No, Eric's channel. That'll be a lot of fun over there. So what's new, Eric? What are you looking forward to? What's coming up?
I mean, the big buzzword these days, which I'm sure we'll talk about tonight, is Matter. You know, everyone's wondering what it is and what it can do and what it can't do. And so, you know, it's in the Apple world too. So, you know, that's the new thing.
It's the protocol that's going to change everything, just like Z-Wave and Zigbee and all the others.
Right.
The one to end it all, and there's no
magic pill.
Magic pill, exactly. So,
a magic pill. I love it. All right, so Pete, you're speaking. So Pete is another one of the hosts here. I've known Pete not as long as I have known Eric, but let's take a little bit of time and get to know Pete. This isn't anything we did together, but it certainly is going to showcase a little bit of where Pete's head is at.
It's like cooking. I'll never have the kitchen skills to cook a beef Wellington like Gordon Ramsay.
This is rubbish!
But that didn't stop me from learning how to cook a hamburger. Still randomly lose connection and miss commands and drive your family nuts, and whenever that happens, they're going to blame you. Meaning if your internet is down or if their cloud server's down, your devices won't work at all. Yes.
I'd say Pete is in some serious need of some parenting tips. If
Hey.
you have any, we can go ahead and put those into the chat.
The kids are still there. The kids are still alive. Help me out with my videos. So.
Yep. So Pete, like I say, I've known Pete a while, and this is going to bring us to the big announcement. So basically, my life is really busy. I've been doing this channel since 2016. It's been about 7 years, and the last couple have been pretty tough. So I was literally at a crossroads, and Pete and Eric here were actually two that I was talking to a lot out at CES in beginning of 2023.
Yeah, you guys hung out in a booth for like 2 hours. It was awesome. It's fantastic.
I did, and then I just followed Eric around like a lost puppy dog.
Good times. Good
It
times.
was a good time, and but I was, literally, I've
What was that one booth we were looking for, like for 2 hours?
Oh my God! So lot of soul searching on if I was going to be able to continue this channel or not, and put everything into it that I think the viewers really needed. Right? I've always wanted to bring education and demystify and just provide the tips to just anybody that would watch. It was never about the viewers, subscriber rates, money, anything. So it's always been my heart to have this channel grow and be successful just from the viewer standpoint, not really anything that I was trying to get out of it. Then I found out that Pete left Hubitat, and it got my mind spinning. So really the big announcement here is I am going to stay involved in the DIY Smart Home Guy channel, but Pete is taking it over. Pete is the new DIY Smart Home Guy.
I had a sounder I was going to play, and I forgot to program it in. Da, 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 ba, 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 ba. So yeah, so that's the big announcement here with the live. I'm excited to be joining the show. John and I have gotten to know each other really well over the past few years, and it seemed like a great fit for what I was looking to do. So a lot of you probably know me. I made a lot of the Hubitat tutorial videos, and now I'll continue to make videos, but expanding beyond Hubitat, all things smart home and technology. So I'm really excited to see this happening, and yeah, thank you, Troy Cooper, for giving me a thumbs up. And I think it'll be a lot of fun. I welcome your comments, you guys, in the live stream there. If you have ideas for the types of videos you'd like to see me do, the clips that he just showed you are from the video that's coming out tomorrow. So look forward to that. I will not always have my kid throwing meat in my face, but when duty calls, duty calls. So yeah, so I think it'll be
All part
a lot
about
of fun.
being a YouTuber. Getting that shot.
That's right.
Taking the shot to the face with some meat.
It did not take long to convince my son to do that. Not at all. So,
How much did you have to pay him?
Yeah, so that's our big announcement there. And yeah, like I said, I am an Apple guy, but I'm not going to be totally focused on Apple. I know a lot of the audience here is not Apple, so I'm trying to learn everything. I'm familiar with Hubitat. I'm familiar with Apple, but I'm learning SmartThings, and I'm learning Home Assistant, and we're gonna try all sorts of fun and innovative stuff. So really looking forward to showing you guys what we have, and we'll be doing regular videos. Once a week is the goal.
Once a week. He's promised us once a week, folks. So something I was never able to achieve. He has committed to 52 a year. He's going to do 2 on Christmas, so it's 53.
Yeah, Eric, am I crazy? Is this a bad idea, or
You're going to be doing this full time?
that's the goal? That's the goal. Yep.
You can do 2 a week then.
2 a week. Don't tell my wife that. That's she'd never see me. But yeah. So it's,
I'm hoping. Yeah, I'm hoping everybody gives you the full support, Pete. And honestly, I couldn't think of a better person to take over the channel. I know Pete's heart, and his is a lot like mine. It's not about being famous. It's about just helping people out. So I really appreciate it. And I wish anybody could have been there when Pete told me and how excited I was I remember I got off the phone with him and I absorbed it for about 10 seconds and I typed him a 3-page email that said, okay, here's what I want to do.
Now, he was a little drunk at the time. I would, you, a little bit.
Well,
You were like in Japan or something, weren't you?
it was 2 a.m. in Japan. What else was I going to be doing?
Yes, it was.
Drinking
But,
sake.
yeah.
So
Eric,
anyway, that's that piece. And again, I just hope everybody, you lend him your support, give him your ideas. He's very much open to feedback. And as I said, you'll still see me. I might pop up in some of his videos and I might do some of my own videos here and there. But it's really about giving the channel the consistency and the viewers everything that I feel that they deserve. And, Pete's hard to just pick it up and take on this as a 24/7 kind of a career. And unfortunately, Pete, you brought your wife into it, so I got to go there. Tell her that you're going to be spending a lot of nights with the computer cutting so you make the next morning's deadline.
Oh, I know. Yeah, oh, geez, getting ready for this live, we were just 10 seconds to go. I'm like,
Mayhem.
But you make it work, man. You make it work, right? So, Eric, how many videos have you done in your YouTube career to this point?
Oh, God. Thousands. Plus, I have a weight loss channel. I have an Amazon channel, Instagram, Twitter. I mean, thousands.
So I didn't tell John this when I took over the channel, but my ultimate goal is to slowly shift this over into a golf channel with me just golfing awesome courses around the world. So I hope you guys are excited for that slow transition.
Hey.
And that executes the what happens to the brand clause.
Right. Exactly.
You're surprised where you want to take the channel, and you might transition to something else. And I mean, look, I came from Bluetooth trackers. Actually, the channel, Sean, I don't know if you remember, but actually was a prepping channel. After Hurricane Sandy, it was a prepping channel, and then it went to Bluetooth trackers.
Oh yeah,
and then to smart home stuff.
Well, because you actually used to be Modern Day Family Man.
Correct. Yeah.
And I had that in there, and I decided to cut it out so we wouldn't, kind of mix up the brand. But yeah, I remember you started out as Modern Day Family Man, and then you went to ModernDayTech.
Yep.
Yeah.
You never know where it's going to take you.
You don't. You follow the interest and you follow the people.
Yep.
So that's a lot of fun. So, what else you got for us, Pete, before we bring in the guests?
Well, people are already saying they're worried about Hubitat. Don't worry about Hubitat. They're doing whatever they're doing. But yeah, they'll be fine. They've got the people that are working there are awesome people. They are dedicated to the hub, and yeah, so I have no qualms with any of the employees there at Hubitat or anything. So
you were there for a while.
They're always working hard, and they come out with new stuff. So we'll see what happens, but I won't be a part of that. When new stuff comes out, I'll highlight it on the channel and tell you what. Now I can say what I really think about it, though, so that's nice. So some of the Hubitat videos I made,
I didn't say what I thought about it? What are you saying?
No, well, when I was doing the tutorials there, I had to make, this is easy, and I didn't have to say, this took me 4 days to figure out how to actually do this. We made it look nice and easy, but it's a very capable hub, and it's got a good audience, so they'll be all right. They'll be all right.
If I can help you out a little bit, don't think about this as Hubitat there's anything wrong. Think about this as we, as the DIY smart home guy and all of our family, have a new opportunity to be better. So it's not about Hubitat, it's about us.
That's right.
There you go.
Yes. So so that's what I got.
Any other
Should we
chats
bring on our
coming in? I don't have the chats up, so is there anything else?
Just a lot of congratulations. Thanks, people. We got a question about Inovelli. We'll get to that when we bring Eric Inovelli out. So. But I think we're.
Well, let's get on. Let's introduce Agnes from Zooz. So first up, I want to say that Agnes has been probably the most consistent supporter of this channel. Agnes has probably sent me more gear than everybody else combined. She's never paid me a dime to do it. I've always done honest reviews, and she kept sending me gear. But I love Agnes. I love what she's doing. I love what Zooz is doing. I love everything that they've been doing to support the channel, including being here tonight. She's a good old friend. So let's share my moment in history with Agnes right now. Here we go. This is from CES 2020. Makes it go up and down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you can dim from other
Video
locations.
on that coming soon.
Yes, hopefully. You have to show everybody, because if it's not on the video, nobody's going to believe me. So please show them.
We're going to play a game.
Okay.
Fast
High
question.
voltage or low voltage game?
That is what it is. It's the high voltage, low voltage game. Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Wars, because it has Harrison Ford in it.
Ooh,
Big fan.
and she went old school. So do you like the new Star Wars?
No, he dies in it, so I don't care for it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hate Adam Driver for that.
Yeah,
He killed him.
we'll cut that part out too.
Well, thanks for that, John. First, you made me feel old.
I am not going to take all the heat
That was
alone
my
on this one. You
moment
gotta-
of fame. And now everybody knows about my connection to Harrison Ford. I have not seen the new Indiana Jones movie before you ask, and I'm not going to.
Well, Agnes, thanks for joining us, and I really seriously do appreciate everything that you've done for the channel over time and done for me, and it's just great to have you here. So, what is going on with Zooz?
Yeah, absolutely. My pleasure. Thanks so much for having me. And nice to see you, John. I mean, we miss you. I speak for everybody. And so thanks for doing, before this announcement, you came back for a little bit and you did a great review of our Z-Box hub. You did a great review of our remote switch. So thank you for doing that, for taking the time. It was great, as always. I do recommend watching those videos if you guys haven't yet. John at his best, plus some bonuses there. So definitely look forward to seeing what's coming from Pete. Pete has also done some really nice work. I think he did the Titan for us, the Titan water valve actuator, great video. So we're definitely looking forward to that. And yeah, we have a lot of announcements, a lot of cool stuff coming up. I think that the most exciting thing for us right now is Z-Wave long range, which I think then will be a real game changer for Z-Wave and smart home in general, because hopefully it's going to solve all of those issues with connectivity and reliability. It's going to be much simpler because it's getting rid of the mesh. So just to let everybody know, because there's a lot of confusion and as usual with new tech, not a lot of documentation, what Z-Wave long range actually is a different, slightly off frequency from the regular Z-Wave mesh network, and it gets rid of the mesh network. So all of a sudden we have direct hub to device communication, and that allows us to get coverage to up to a mile. So now we can take Z-Wave outdoors. We actually have tested a few devices successfully building to building. So we're getting a solid 1,000 feet signal, and that's with actual devices that we've been testing. So it does work and it's coming. As usual with any upgrades in Z-Wave, we're seeing accessories, so devices that you can connect to your hub, like switches and sensors coming out first, and then hubs need to catch up, right? So right now we have a Z-Wave stick that's long range ready, 800 series. We're just looking for an interface, software, hub, somebody to actually implement Z-Wave long range on the hub level. So maybe it's going to be our hub, which is the Z-Box hub that John, you did a video on. We're definitely aiming to complete that upgrade as soon as possible. The good news is that Z-Wave long range can also be updated through software. So it's not like you guys will need to get new hardware. If you have a 700 series device and the manufacturer is going to honor the compatibility and upgrade their products like we do with everything that we have, you'll be able to upgrade a 700 series device to Z-Wave long range through a software update. And similar with hubs. So as long as a hub is 700 series, the chip is ready for a long range upgrade. So what you guys can do for us is to keep pushing your service providers, your hub manufacturers to introduce those features, because as much as we're their partners on some level, you guys really have the selling power here. So we hope that we're going to see one very quickly, and that we'll be able to enjoy, a more robust smart home and a simpler smart home as well, because that's going to reduce troubleshooting and issues and trying to understand the mesh network, which I don't think anybody needs to do.
I know I've done videos on mesh network. I did that one from a hotel in Hong Kong. I think Pete, you did one on mesh networks.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, understanding mesh networks. I love mesh networks, but they're not the silver bullet. So I do have a question for you, Agnes. You had a siren, a Z-Wave siren that I think you discontinued. Are you ever going to bring that thing back?
Not that thing, but obviously something better. And we are working on a new siren device. It's in early development stages. So if anybody here watching this video, if you guys have any suggestions to us, as always, we're very open to that. So anything in particular you want to see in that device, there's probably still a few weeks left where we can put it in. But we're going to introduce a device that will be somewhat similar, but it's going to have a little bit of an easier installation type. And for Z-Wave wise, it's also going to be easier to use. So that's coming, but I can't really tell you a lot of details yet.
And where do people get a hold of you so that they can give you the feedback?
Sure. So you can always contact us using the Zooz website. You can go to getzooz.com and submit an inquiry there to leave us feedback there. Or if you guys follow us on social media, you can send a message over there. No problem. You can also email us directly. It's ask@getzooz.com. So you can go over there. Before the siren, we're actually going to introduce a super exciting product that's long range as well. That's an outdoor motion, temperature, and lux sensor. So it's going to be, we had an outdoor motion and lux sensor. We still are selling it, but it's going to be replaced with a really fast outdoor motion sensor that will have instant temperature and lux reports. And that's going to be 800 series and long range as well. So that's something that we're super excited about. It's still coming this year in the last quarter of the year.
Yeah, I think I put that last one in a video. It was 26 home automation ideas, and that was one of the ways that you could use the sensor, but that was really nice. I love that sensor.
Yeah, it's one of those devices that everybody's been waiting for, similar to the motion switch. So switch with a built-in motion and lux sensor. That's something that we've been developing for 3 years, and that's in transition from different suppliers. Then hopefully we're going to release this year as well. So that's another one of those devices that I know a lot of people are waiting for, and it's definitely not an abandoned project. This is something that that we're still working on, and it's coming very soon.
Very cool. And how's your supply chain doing? I know all of the guests on here, I think, have been experiencing some chip problems, but how have you been holding up?
Great question. It's probably a good time for me to shed some light and give a big shout out to our team. I'm usually the face of the company, but we have an incredible team, and everybody has just stepped up immensely during the last few years in terms of keeping the inventory healthy, in terms of providing customer service. So as we grow, we've actually grown substantially throughout this whole time. We somehow managed to keep very healthy inventory levels and haven't been affected by the supply chain issues because we have never been conservative with our inventory levels. So we're able to play quite nicely and at the same time upgraded a lot of our devices. So a lot of our devices that, say, pre-pandemic were 500 series, we were able to upgrade to 700 series, and now we have them at 800 series long range. So a lot of our devices are on 3rd, 4th generation, and that is only possible because we have a lot of dedicated people that are, willing to put on the hours. And we've been putting a lot of frequent updates, no issues with inventory, no issues. There's issues with supply chain, but we've been handling them. Same on the support level.
I've seen some stock outs here and there on your website, but generally you seem like you've always had product. So that's always been encouraging. So
sometimes there's outages, for like a week or two, but it's been pretty good.
Yeah. So let me cut you off. So Pete, are there any comments?
Yeah, I got one question from Jason in the chat. He says, is it possible to add Z-Wave 6 to Z-Wave long range extender converter to allow using Z-Wave long range on an older hub? I think he's asking, can you use some sort of you need to have a Z-Wave 700 series, right, in order for it to work?
Yes. Yeah. I'm not sure what Z-Wave 6 means here because there was the 600 series chip was there very briefly. I don't know if there's a lot of devices. Yeah, exactly. It was really very much 500 to 700. So as long as you have a 700 series chip device, you can create a software update to provide long range, but that's up to the manufacturer as always, right? So we know there's been a few kind of loud incidents on the internet about the firmware availability and firmware files. So if their manufacturers are open to that and they share the firmware and they, first of all, create firmware for older devices, not just for production, but just, to share with people, then it's absolutely possible. So it's up to the manufacturers. As long as the chip is 700 series or higher, you can absolutely apply long range to via software, but only in the US. In case there's people watching outside of North America, in Europe, it's long range is still not available because
we actually get up to the Netherlands and Denmark. I mean, we are global here. Australia.
Yes. So it's just to give you the full picture, because there's a lot of confusion about long range. Mm-hmm.
Cool. Okay. Eric, well, Pete, you guys got anything?
No, I just want to say you can start sending your stuff to me now. I'll get you my address.
Lovely.
I still want to
still send stuff to me. It's okay, but I'm probably not going to be the one that does the video.
I'm not going to pick a side. You're both going to get everything, okay?
Excellent. Because I still want to try that mailbox thing. If you get that long range to get out to my mailbox, that'd be fantastic.
And the open close sensor long range 800 series, it's actually coming very soon. I want to say we're sending the manuals to the factory, so that's going to be just a few more weeks, and you're going to get to test it if you have a long range hub, right? Because that's
you have to send me one of those things.
Right. That's what I mean. Yeah, Hubitat will probably not be sending it to you.
Who knows?
Or maybe they will.
Who knows?
But who knows?
So is there any long-range hubs that you know of right now, or is this just yours?
No, not to my knowledge. So the complicated thing or confusing thing with hubs and controllers is that there's the hardware part of it and the Z-Wave chip part of it that is technically capable of everything and anything. And then there's the software part. So that's why not every hub supports every device. And there's always, issues with compatibility, even though technically Z-Wave works with everything, right? So the software side needs to support Z-Wave long range. And a lot of it comes down to simple stuff like there needs to be an ability to scan a QR code. You can't easily add a Z-Wave device that's long range without scanning the QR code, which is the Smart Start functionality that was introduced a couple of years ago, but not yet completely widely implemented, especially on the hub side. So there's currently nothing that I can think of that is a functional software that's available to consumers that supports Z-Wave long range.
Okay. All right. Well, that's
not yet, but definitely watch out for the Z-Box hub, because hopefully that will be the first one.
All right.
That's what we're working on.
Well, it's sitting right over here on my desk, waiting for other stuff to get hooked up to it. So it's still powered up, still going. Agnes, I really appreciate you coming in. Just so we keep an eye on the time, we're going to move on to our next guest.
So
thanks so much, guys.
Hold on. Let's All right. Well, thank you, Agnes. I'll switch it over to our three shots. So thanks Agnes for coming by. We'll chat.
Very much appreciate it
later. And don't forget, Eric from Inovelli is coming up to round out the show at the end. So stick around for him. But we got one more. We got Nate here. Let's go.
Yep. So next up is Nate from Konnected. So unfortunately, I haven't really not really. I haven't at all done a video on Konnected. I first learned about Konnected after I did a Fabaro Smart implant video. I was so proud of what I could do with my alarm system. And then I had about 10 of the 15 comments said, dude, why didn't you do Konnected? Never got around to it. I apologize, Nate, for not.
I guess I just never send you free product. I guess that's my bad. Like
I actually do buy quite a bit of it. Not everybody.
I'm so busy trying to build things that I'm not sending you stuff. So
I'm gonna do an intro for you, and then we'll kick into it. Make sure you get your plug here. You got to have your 30 seconds of fame, don't you? So here we go. I appreciate you guys sending.
I'm Nate Clark, founder of Konnected. I'm excited to show you how you can easily make your wired alarm system smart using our device.
All right, there we go.
Awesome. Well, thanks for that intro. I guess you saw basically a glimpse of really our two product families. So Konnected is still a pretty small company, and we have really essentially two product families. The Alarm Panel Pro is the flagship of our alarm panel family, and then just a couple months ago we've branched out and created the Konnected garage door opener. Now, Konnected's philosophy, in contrast to the Z-Wave and other wireless protocols, is I'm all about the wired things, and that, in fact, sorry, my screen is blurry, but that is an Ethernet port on the Alarm Panel Pro. So you don't have to worry about Wi-Fi dropping or this mesh network or anything like that. So, and that's why this baby is our best seller, and it has been for a couple of years, and we're continuously improving it. Essentially what this is, the Alarm Panel Pro, is it allows you to connect up to 12 inputs and 3 outputs for contact sensors, motion sensors, temperature sensors, water leak sensors, different wired devices. So if you don't want to deal with the risk of wireless and all of the headache that goes along with it, just run a good old wire. And a lot of homes are pre-wired for alarm systems, and that's really where we got our start. Was because I had the idea, like, hey, my house is, and this was back in 2017, my house had a pre-wired alarm system, and I didn't really want to use that old clunky thing. And at the time I was into SmartThings, and I figured out, well, there's got to be a way that I can connect those wired sensors to the SmartThings home security application, and that was how Konnected got its start. And we've evolved over the last few years, and now support integrations with SmartThings, with Hubitat, with through our cloud platform with Alexa, with Home Assistant. We now support ESP Home. You can run alternate firmware, completely open source, do it yourself, fully local, build your own kind of local functionality using ESP Home firmware on here, and I'll help you with that. We have a lot of great documentation on the website on how ESP Home works on Konnected's devices. All of our devices are IP based. They don't take any batteries, so you never have to change a battery. And in the case of the Alarm Panel Pro, wired Ethernet. Our garage door opener is Wi-Fi, but it also doesn't use any batteries. And it doesn't require any wireless anything, So don't worry about those tilt sensors. The way this guy works is it mounts on the ceiling of your garage and has a little laser sensor here that can measure distance. And so when the garage door opener rolls up, it can tell if the door is open or closed. Nice. You also can optionally add a regular contact sensor, and we sell those too as an optional add-on, heavy duty contact sensor. It has a bright LED light and a buzzer inside to warn you before the garage is about to close. And it wires into the head unit of the garage door opener, except for those new ones by that company whose name I won't mention that everybody loves to hate, where they have the yellow learn button. You need a little adapter for those guys. That's what I'm talking about. So nobody really likes their solution to smart garage door.
I am working on a hack on one of these, by the way, so I've got some questions for you.
Yeah, sure. We can talk about that. So the philosophy of Konnected's garage door opener is to make any garage door opener smart and connected to the platforms that you want to use, and be able to use it with your Android Auto or Apple HomeKit or Apple CarPlay or whatever you want. So we have integrations with SmartThings and Home Assistant via ESP Home right now, working on Hubitat and some other, and also Alexa, and working on Google Assistant too. So that's where we are with Konnected. Yeah.
So you mentioned that you're all wired. And by the way, I truly do wish I had found Konnected before I did that smart implant video.
What a dumb name that is, smart implant. When I heard it, like, what does that even mean?
I think in my last video I said I wouldn't have named it this.
Yeah.
And that's another one I should have put that in there. So one question I had is, when you look at, somebody like in my house right here, I've got a wired alarm system that is defunct. I don't use it. And there's a lot of the sensors that I know are just bad, and I'm not going to go through the pain of redoing them. And it's just cheaper, faster, better for me to put in the wired thing. I totally get your point about the wired stuff. But my question is, if I have a set of sensors that are outside, maybe SmartThings or Home Assistant or Hubitat, and those are triggering things, can I feed those triggers into the Konnected? Does that make sense? So can I use external sensors from my smart hub and get it to trigger over to Konnected so that Konnected can trigger the alarm?
Well, so it doesn't really work.
Or am I thinking about it wrong? I might be thinking about it wrong.
Yeah, thinking about it a little bit wrong. So, and that's exactly, the idea that I had was like, you know what, like these smart home platforms, whether it's SmartThings or Home Assistant or Hubitat, whatever, they're so smart. They can do a lot. The software, like the logic of the alarm system, lives in that platform. So, and it's not the same for every platform, but in the case of those big three, SmartThings, Home Assistant, Hubitat, each of those have their own security system application built in, where you can use ad hoc sensors from multiple devices. So you could use your dozen, wired sensors, plus a Z-Wave sensor for this device, plus, other, sensors from other things, and a Z-Wave siren if you want to, or your wired siren. I mean, this powers a wired siren.
That was why I was asking. I knew you had the siren, right?
Mhm.
So it was, do I need Agnes to give me a siren?
No,
Or
because
do I need to drive something to drive your siren?
Yeah, no, your smart home platform acts as the brains of it and just says, oh, an intrusion was detected, turn on the siren. And the smart home hub figures it out. It doesn't matter if the siren is connected to the connected device or through Z-Wave, it's just going to work. And so that's that's what's really cool about it with our core platforms. And it's a little bit different with something like with Alexa, for example, because it's not really a full true smart home. And also Apple Home does not HomeKit doesn't allow you at this point. They don't have that capability for letting you pull in ad hoc sensors from different devices or different platforms and build your own alarm system logic within that hub. But SmartThings, Home Assistant, and Hubitat will allow you to do that and pull in any devices and trigger anything that you want to. And it's basically infinitely expandable.
All right. Now, Eric, ModernDayTech, Eric, sorry. Eric Tech, Modern Day, man. There's some hacks where you can get Hubitat into HomeKit, right? Didn't you do a video on that?
I did not do the video, but I know someone that did. I actually
that was Shane. That's
Shane.
right.
Shane did it.
Shane did that.
But
I was with you when Shane told me, so that's why I thought about you.
Yeah. I did dabble in it. It works.
So my favorite solution, and I get this question a lot about HomeKit and Apple Home, and it's an awesome interface. There are limitations on, like I just mentioned. My favorite way to get an alarm system into HomeKit now is through Home Assistant as the brains of it, and even better, running ESP Home firmware on this device, so that makes it all 100% local. So the alarm system is going to work even if your cloud is down. And then Home Assistant has a HomeKit integration, which basically just makes that alarm system accessory appear in HomeKit as if it was any alarm system. So Eric, maybe we should think about collabing on a video for that, because you guys and your weekly commitment for videos, like I don't know how that's possible. I did a handful of videos back in the day, but now I'm running a company and developing software and hardware and all these things, and I was like, how the heck am I gonna keep
I always try to tell the device manufacturers, don't do your own videos, let the YouTubers do it for you.
Yeah, all right, well, let's work on that, Eric. If you have any interest, I'll be happy to, because I do get that question a lot. And this M word, Matter, is what people keep crossing their fingers about, that it's going to solve that problem. But I think we're years away on that.
Definitely. Yeah, we can talk after.
All right.
Yeah. So what do we got in the chat, Mr. Pete?
So a couple things. Mark is asking. He says, I have an ADT system, and recently they sold me various wireless sensors and connected them back to my wired panel. Will those work with Konnected? So we got wireless sensors through ADT connected to the panel.
Well, it depends. I mean, the wireless sensors are probably not physically connected to the panel, although they could be. So sometimes they install like a thing that's basically a wired to wireless bridge. Mm-hmm. And in that case, then maybe, yes, you can attach those wired bridge to Konnected, and it'll work just like another thing. But most of these ADT systems or other professional grade alarm, they have a wireless receiver directly in the panel, and the zones are wireless zones, and we don't support those type of wireless sensors now. But like I was just saying before with John, is that you can, if you're using a platform like SmartThings or Hubitat or Home Assistant, then just replace those ADT sensors with like little Z-Wave ones or Zigbee or whatever you want that are going to work with that platform. I mean, it's, what is it, $20 a pop or so, for each one. And then you can still build your own alarm system. And then if you have say a handful of wired sensors, those will work seamlessly with the ones that are wireless, just not those proprietary ADT ones.
Okay. I got one more question here. It says, can the Alarm Panel Pro work standalone? And if so, can a keypad attach to it? And if the internet is down, how do you disarm it or arm it?
Can it work standalone? Yeah, yes. And it's kind of a new thing with ESP home firmware, which makes it, this just came out in July, actually, which is like a month ago, right? Where ESP Home now has its own alarm system state machine built into it, which I'm still experimenting with. So if you're interested in that, then start a thread on our community forum, community.konnected.io. That's connected with a K. And I will chime in on that, and we will make it work. With regards to keypads, those old school like alarm system keypads from like the 1990s, no, those are not going to work with Konnected. But there are a lot of cool options. Most people do like touchscreen tablets, like Fire tablets or something like that, or an iPad on the wall, depending on which platform you're into. And then there's also like the kind of modern looking like wired keypads, like you can get key fobs from, like standalone keypads that just make like a contact closure or like a dry contact when the right code is put in. And those can work too, because those just get wired in as an input to your Konnected panel, which then can be programmed as a trigger to make stuff happen, arm, disarm, whatever you want it to do.
Right.
So there's a lot of options, and I know it's confusing. I think the best way to discuss this, community.konnected.io, and we'll figure it out for you.
Cool. All right, we'll try to get a link to that in the description down below after we go off live here. But I think we should move on. But Nate, it was so great to meet you at CEDIA last year. Thank you for coming. I think your product's awesome. We've had private conversations about this, especially like even for new homes. I think it's like a win-win to wire your house up with new alarm system, use Konnected to get it to smart homes. Nice. It's an awesome product. So seriously, check it out, guys. And I think you got big things coming your way. So
yeah, and very much appreciate you being a part of this, Nate. Like I say, the fun part for me was, even though we didn't have a connection, we had that connection because I learned about you by doing a video, and everybody called me a dummy, which I can sometimes. So,
well, I sort of feel in the FOMO, John, to be honest with you. And I'm sorry we didn't meet earlier.
It's quite all right. There's still a future. So, I'm living vicariously through Pete now.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm glad to have met Pete last year, and I'll see you again in Denver at CEDIA in a couple weeks.
See you in a couple weeks. It'll be CEDIA. Right. Join us at CEDIA in 2 weeks in Denver. It'll be fun.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Thanks, Nate.
Awesome. And our budget that we had of like 7 minutes per guest, we've blown that budget. But thanks everybody for hanging in there. I hope there are still people watching the live stream.
There's plenty of people still watching. Yeah, and I hope they are, because I am super excited for what Eric has to talk about here.
He's got some fun stuff. So let's get on to Eric from Inovelli.
Only 11 likes. We need a couple more thumbs up there.
More thumbs up. Oh yeah, like, subscribe. My brain's not even there.
I got you back. I got you.
So Eric Hines was actually the first, I'm going to call him at the time, commercial manufacturer that ever sent me a product for free to review. It was, at the time, it was called Show Home. I don't know if it's focusing there.
Embarrassing, John.
I still use this thing today. And then I also still use the second generation one that he sent me, which was the first time I saw the Inovelli brand. But it's the dual plug where one is always hot and the other one is Z-Wave controlled. And that, I believe, was 2016 or 2017, but it's been about 6 years now. And that was before Eric was big stuff and hot stuff.
Come on.
Eric has also been a guy that I would say sent me, as we can prove, and I couldn't find it. It's in a box. It's in a special museum box that I have. Eric tends to send me stuff before it's ready for prime time. So I think, Eric, you sent me the very first off the line, it was the first or second off the line prototype of your Red Series switch. And I actually did my video off that prototype. So again, Eric's a guy that's been around forever with me. Very much appreciate it. And I like to say I made Eric what he is today. Just kidding. Just joking.
Making me blush. You're making me blush, John. Come
So
on.
let me give you your 30 seconds of DIY smart home guy fame. Got the share, and you'll remember this. This is all, and I don't know really what happened, but I think that blew up.
Hey, UL, if you're listening, that was blew up as in sales blew up, not as in it seriously blew someone's house up.
Started off with Wink. It's great. R.I.P. And switching.
That's right.
And my favorite one is probably just like the double tap feature, honestly, in my bedroom. So I could have reworded that a little bit, I guess, huh? Right? The double tap in the bedroom.
No double entendre there.
Oh, man. Thanks, John.
What I do, man. Yeah, well, the chances of you and Agnes buying me a beer after this is done is slim, right?
Yeah, for sure.
You're gonna go out with a bang. So how you doing?
You good, man? How are you? It's good to see you.
I'm doing good. I feel liberated now that I have found the solution for a problem that's been going on for a couple of years, and I can't tell you, I'm sleeping good at night. My nerves are down. It was really chewing me up that I couldn't get the videos out on pace, and I'm happy to be in this place. And some other time, I'm gonna let Eric ModernDayTech tell you. I mean, I was a pressed little monkey, man, at CES 23. I followed him around like a puppy dog. Tell me how to be a YouTuber again, please.
I get in front of the camera, turn it on, and
just turn it on and go. That's what he said. He said, John, you're overthinking it. Just turn it on and shoot, man. Nobody's gonna care. All right.
They don't care. I'm putting so much effort into this thing.
They don't care that I've been gone so long. That was it.
Right. We're just glad to have you back.
What is new with Inovelli?
Well, I thought you were going to crack an inventory joke. I'm glad you didn't do that.
Well, I was going to ask about it. I wasn't going to crack a joke about it.
Yeah, I'm glad. We're back in stock, which is great. We finally, kind of overcame that hurdle, which is a big one for us. And so we got the Red Series, Blue Series back in stock. We just did a very successful Indiegogo campaign for a new millimeter wave switch. Raised about $400,000+ for that. Just got fully funded for a couple new projects. So a button controller for Z-Wave and Zigbee, and then finally we've got a fan canopy module that we'll be coming out with at Zigbee as well. So the fan
module's back.
It's back. Yeah, it's gonna be better than ever. So we're gonna be using Zigbee bindings for that instead of, we had like an RF feature last time, which just had some disconnection issues, but we're gonna kind of revamp that and look into obviously Zigbee bindings and stuff. So.
Yeah, I was gonna do a video on that when that thing came out, and then I ended up selling my house, moved from our old city to our new city, which is, I'm in Las Vegas now. So all of you that were trashing Vegas earlier, come on, it's fun. And then this house actually had the dual wires for everything. So
nice,
whole new plan. I'm not going to tell you how I wired it up, but I did wire it up because they're all dedicated wiring.
Good.
So tell us about this millimeter wave thing, man. What is that about?
Yeah, so I think Agnes actually hit on a little bit about the firmware sharing with a competitor that didn't feel like sharing their firmware, which is great. I'm glad for that they did that, and it kind of gave us the opportunity to say, hey, to this YouTuber, we would love to come out with a switch for you that does motion that you could put in your house, because I think the thing that he had said was that he would have chose us, but we just didn't have a motion switch at the time. And so I said, hey, I just kind of volunteered myself and said, let's just see what happens. And so we'll make a millimeter wave switch, because that's kind of the new technology. And so what millimeter wave is basically, and you ever have that problem in like conference rooms where you're sitting there and then the lights go out and you're just, exactly, waving your hands, and you're like,
that's why I keep coming back and drinking water, is because I actually have a motion switch in my office. If I quit moving, the lights turn off.
All right, well, perfect. We'll send you the millimeter wave one. So what that does is kind of sends out radar
to me.
To you, yep. All right.
Not Pete. Send it to me.
I'll give it to both of you, just like Agnes said. Yeah. But it'll shoot out millimeter waves, which detects presence rather than just motion. So you can sit there as still as you want. It'll know you're in the room, and the lights will stay on for you. So that's basically the gist of it. So we'll be coming out with that in both Zigbee and Z-Wave. So Lots of exciting stuff.
I've been seeing a number of those, not the switches, not built into the switch, but I've been seeing the sensors. People are doing videos on the sensors. And there's always an app, and they've got to set up the app and the distance and all that kind of thing. Is that going to be a thing with your switch, or how are you getting around that?
So we'll work with all the major platforms. So SmartThings, Hubitat, Home Assistant, anything that, those are big three. I mean, and now we'll just basically build it the way we have with our traditional switches, where we'll have different parameters and, the other Eric, who knows? Lost count on the last switch. I always get it wrong. So probably over 60.
Because I count your parameters.
Yeah, I know. So Eric, the other Eric will build, the device drivers and handlers and all that stuff to kind of get it so it integrates perfectly fine with those big three at least. So
excellent.
Will it still have 11 or 12 button tap differentials on it?
I think we're up to 18 now. 18. Yeah, I think we're up to 18.
Morse code.
So yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you had just done a foray into lighting. I think at CES 2020, and now that seems to all be gone from your website. Are you going to get back into lighting as well?
Like light bulbs, are you saying, or?
Well, yeah, you had the foot-long addressable strips, and you had the Edison lights, and you had a few other light bulbs there.
Yep. Those were hopes and dreams before COVID happened. So, we'd love to bring it back. I think the challenge that we had was, one, obviously logistics. Two, Z-Wave in general with light bulbs is kind of a challenge because it's more of an expensive product, and I don't think that a lot of people really see the value in Z-Wave when it comes to light bulbs. They could just buy either like a cheap Wi-Fi one that's $5, or they would just go buy a Philips Hue, and so it's kind of hard for us to play in that area, but. I do think that there still is some opportunity for it, and I do have something. I'm not going to share this one. I'll share it a little bit later, but I have something up my sleeve when it comes to a new light bulb. So keep an eye out on that. I promise you.
I'm not worried about you not telling me, because I know you send it here first.
Yeah, you're right. I would. Yeah, I will.
That's very cool.
I will.
So I'm curious about this. I got the Aqara millimeter wave sensor. It's has its problems, but it's good in certain areas. So, but the technology behind it is awesome. Yeah, the idea of not having to wave, sit at my desk is awesome. With your switch, where it's located in the wall, it's gonna be. Can you adjust it where the waves are pointing at all, or is it going to point straight out from the wall? What's the angle on that?
Yeah, that is the challenge. So the field of view is around 120 degrees at this point. So we've just kind of been telling people, all right, take a quick shot of your room and kind of see where your switch is at, and just measure 120 degrees, 60 each way, and see if there's any dead spots. If there is, then pick up an Aqara or pick up some other millimeter wave device that you can kind of pair with using tangent with our switch. But that is something that we'll try to be solving as well with a separate product. So if you're kind of putting two together here of what I've just said before of the other product, that's kind of how we're going to solve those dead spots. So
yeah, no, that's
I think
this is the way of the future as far as motion sensors go. Once A, the technology gets where it needs to be, and B, once the price drops, I don't think why would you use a PIR sensor really at all?
Yeah, exactly. Yep. There's a lot of challenges though. So we're definitely working through it in terms of, like pets is a tough one to overcome with millimeter wave, where PIR is a little more, you can adjust things a little bit more with PIR, but it's something that we're kind of trying to solve with zones. But just a lot of work that is.
Well, yeah, and that's where I was going, is how are you going to get the zones? But we'll wait for testing.
Yeah. But the idea, so one of the downsides with the Aqara one is that it's wired. You got to plug it in. So being able to have it right there by the wall in a switch where you don't have to have a separate wire run. That's awesome. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, and it's lightning fast too. As soon as you walk in, it picks you right up. So it's like I can't even put my hand over to turn on the light switch before it even turns on, which it's great. So
nice.
Yeah, it's super fast, which is great.
What about
what if we make one that so I'm thinking about wired alarm systems, right? Every house has a PIR in the corner of the living room. What if we make one to plug in there and then run 12 volts to it?
Yeah, maybe
something.
Eric. Yeah. All right, man. I'm in.
See what we're facilitating here, Pete.
Yeah.
Changing
Yeah,
the
It's
world.
like
Seriously,
connected, Inovelli.
Yeah.
It's like there's like a synergy.
I'm thinking it's just got to be wireless.
Yeah,
So you can place it anywhere.
We're
But
bringing
then you got
people
to worry about
together.
battery
But
life.
that's
and
the
everything.
battery issue,
Right.
right? That's
Yeah,
why I don't deal with batteries. So if it has a battery, I'm out.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Mhm, yeah.
So I got a question here from the chat here from Stuart. He says, "What's your take on Z-Wave long range? Are your switches going to be long range?"
Yeah, they currently are already. I think Agnes did a great job explaining kind of how anything that has 700 or 800 typically will have long range in it, but it's really the hubs. Does the hub support it, which is oftentimes the issue. So our switches do have it already built in. We just don't have any hub really to work with it to get it to initialize.
So I do have one question for both Agnes and Eric. Did you guys actually coordinate? Did you call beforehand on the color of your shirts?
We did. Yes, we certainly did.
We have a special connection. We go way back to John.
We do.
Connection.
But I'm going blind, so it might not be exact, but they are really close to me.
Z-Wave Summit, Agnes, I'll never forget.
And they're the only.
Oh, wait, that raises a lot of questions, though.
What happens at the summit stays at the summit. Come on.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. What else do we have for Mr. Hines and Inovelli?
That is, let's see, bring a fan. They're telling us we got a request from Jason. He says to bring a fan and light switch with a built-in 300 to 450 megahertz remote for DC fan control. Please, Inovelli, with exclamation points. So he really wants it.
Yeah. All right. I think I saw you in the forum. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
He's standing outside your house right now. Actually, he's.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah. I like it. I'll do my best. I'll promise you I'll at least talk to the manufacturer about it. But there is a lot of challenges with DC fans and putting their canopy module in it. But I will talk to them and get you an answer. I promise.
Excellent.
All right.
Well, unless there's anything else in the chat.
Nope, that's it for our chatters.
Round this up
well wishes. People
hour.
say they love their Inovelli, so it's keep on doing the good work. So
yeah, I would say for every product here, what I have noticed, wherever you go, there is the following. They all have their followings, and that to me is a sign that they're all great products, and that's why they're here on the channel, because they are great products, and they do a good job, and the communities love them. So Eric, you got anything else you want? Eric, modern day Eric. Sorry. See, that's why I tell you. That's why I didn't have the eye blinds, Eric.
There's another Eric. They usually call me Easy. Make it easy.
All right. Hey, Easy, what you got?
Easy. No, this is awesome. So great products. I've used Zooz. I've used Inovelli. So definitely good stuff.
All right. Pete, I'm going to let you drive us home.
All right. Yeah. No, again,
handing it over to you.
I'm
I'm out.
these three on because we respected what they do. And what? Oh, you're handing it off. There's
I'm mic dropping. I'm doing
my
mic drop.
Passing the torch. Yeah, but no, we brought all three of you guys on because we really respected what you do, and you have great products and a nice following, and you're nice people too. We've really enjoyed getting to know you guys, and hope we continue to have a great working relationship in the future. So other than that, I'm really excited to be making videos. Look for my first solo video coming out tomorrow. So that'll be very cool. Six things I wish I knew before I automated my home. So that'll be a fun one there. And other than that, thank you so much for everyone who tuned in and stayed watching for a whole hour. And we'll hopefully do some more lives or other type of shows like this in the future. So for Pete from the DIY Smart Home Guy channel and everybody else, thank you, Eric. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Nate. Thank you, Agnes. Thank you. And then, excuse me. Thank you, John. And we will see you all next time.
You're going to get that wrong in one video, I guarantee it.
I know I am. All right. See y'all.